Based on what I demonstrated so far, you could probably recognize some pain points in electronic reporting solution. When it goes for the data source, though the model and model mapping configurations are extremely powerful, you could see how working with them could have been more intuitive and user-friendly. Electronic reporting is supposed to be for non-technical profile, such as functional consultants and power users. This might be true if you need a minor change, like adding a new field from a table that is already included in the model and model mapping. But for more advanced requirements, things can become too complex and the help from a technical colleague is often needed. Remember how I had to iterate through multiple related tables to reach the mode of delivery field? D365FO data model is extremely complex, so non-developers need a cut-and-dry approach until finding the right path to the final table and its fields. Sometimes calculations are needed, and sometimes the expressions need to be quite complex and unmanageable by non-technical profiles. And for a technical profile, it would be much faster and less error-prone to write an X++ code than expressions like this. At least I'm speaking for myself based on my own experience. Standard Excel or Microsoft Word don't offer any specialized templating tools. What I mean by that? For example, let's say that you have an already functional format and then you get a requirement to conditionally show or hide some of its sections. Specialized templating tool would have some feature built into it to allow you selecting those sections and specifying a condition based on which the section is visible. Excel or Microsoft Word don't have such features. You need to make sure that the report data source is already prepared in such a way that it contains or doesn't contain the data. Another example is sorting a list of, let's say, lines. In Specialized tool, there would be an option to select the list of lines and, in a user-friendly and intuitive way, specify the sorting criteria. In Excel, as a template designer, you don't have such option. Instead, you need to prepare the data source exactly in a way how it should flow on the output document. Therefore, if the same collection of data should appear in multiple places, organized or filtered in a different way, then you need the same data repeated already in the report data source and of course prepared according to the required flow. On the other hand, in a specialized templating tool, you operate with only one set of data and then simply present it in multiple places and in different ways as needed. Why does this matter? The solution without the dedicated templating features on the format designer is an example of a poor separation of concerns. You are maintaining the things in two different places, both in electronic reporting format configuration and in the Excel or Microsoft Word design. So it takes more time than with the real templating tool. It is error-prone and can be frustrating. Let's not forget the huge overhead due to the need to use the named ranges in Excel and content controls with manual control name assignment in Word. In Excel, whenever you add an element to the layout, you need to manually type in the related named range. It is frustrating manual work, not to mention that it is error-prone and introduces a significant overhead. Working with electronic reporting formats, Excel or Word, is non-intuitive, leading to non-efficient format designing process. Based on the Yammer threads, many users report issues with electronic reporting outputs such as incorrect formatting, for example, misaligned columns, broken formulas, or inconsistent data formatting when generating reports in Excel. When generating reports in Word, there are often formatting issues such as tables not aligning correctly, pagination issues, or text being out of place. Then, it frequently happens that output does not match the expected layout or content, particularly when the data has changed or the report template is updated. Reports may have issues with regional formatting, such as date formats, currency symbols, or decimal separators not aligning with the expected locale. Users with complex reporting requirements often face challenges when trying to customize reports, especially if the formatting requires advanced Excel or Word features, like custom formulas or conditional formatting. In Excel, only static content is possible in headers and footers because Excel doesn't have its usual cells and ranges in its header and footer. As already mentioned, as soon as some advanced formulas or formatting are required, a help from technical consultant is needed, which introduces additional step in the communication and prolongs the whole design process. Most frequently used combination is Excel Format Designer and PDF output. PDF generated out of Excel tends to be a bit off. It simply isn't the most beautiful thing you will see. Based on Yammer threads, it seems that the larger reports may take a long time to generate or even fail to be generated. Some frequent client requirements for additional PDF document processing, such as encryption, PDF-A conformance, digital signing, are not supported out of the box and may result in complex customizations. Electronic reporting destinations bring a bit more features than SSRS print destinations, but also introduce some limitations, and there is still a lot missing. We will give some specific examples in the upcoming video, where we're going to compare Docentric and electronic reporting. It is also worth mentioning that the configuration of electronic reporting destinations is rather non-intuitive. As in SSRS, in case of print management reports, you can select the electronic reporting format from user interface in the print management setup form. The selected electronic reporting format is linked to all other necessary elements. On one side, the electronic reporting model and model mapping configurations, which define how the report data source is prepared, and on the other side, it is linked to electronic reporting destinations. This type of architecture introduces the following issue. You cannot configure multiple print management settings, let's say original and copy, or multiple conditional settings, and have them to use the same electronic reporting format, but to be sent to different destinations. As soon as two print management settings use the same electronic reporting format, they will be distributed to the same electronic reporting destinations. When it goes for the non-print management reports, there is an improvement over SSRS because users can select from user interface which electronic reporting format to execute, while in case of SSRS, this was done through the code. But the user experience is not optimal because the report cannot be started through the same menu item as the equivalent SSRS report. When a report is related to certain context, for example, a check you want to reprint, in SSRS, you select that check and request reprinting. With electronic reporting, user finds the electronic reporting format among the electronic reporting configurations, the Run menu item, which opens a dialog where user needs to select the records, let's say checks, to be used for the report execution. There are many features around the document generation and distribution that are missing in the out-of-the-box electronic reporting solution. So on each new project, partners often need significant customizations to meet the needs of a specific project. The features that do exist, for example, placeholders that enable dynamic content in email body or subject, are overcomplicated. All configurations provided by Microsoft are given on flat, without any structure, and it is often a challenge to find the configuration you need.